Your turn, G.
Good morning, mga katribo. It's Wednesday, the 18th of October. Welcome to another episode of Daily Tribune Straight Talk, where we discuss current issues that matter to each of us. This is Gigie Arcilla. Good morning, Chito, and good morning, Ted.
Hello. Hi.
Morning, G. Good morning. I'm Chito Lozada. We are live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
This is Terry Montalivano.
Yes, in this morning's
you-
episode, we have a very prominent figure in government back in the days and now in the private sector. He is the former Secretary of the Interior and Local Government and also a former Secretary of the Department of Tourism. Now he is the President of the Rotary Club of Manila
Manila.
and also the Chairman
Foreman.
of the
Former chair.
a former chairman of the Philippine Council for Foreign Relations, among others. So we'll find out from former Secretary Raffy Alunan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank
Sir
you for
Raffy.
having me.
Good morning.
Yes. So
Thank you for being here.
mhm.
Taking time.
Yeah,
Thank you, thank you.
It's our
Pleasure.
Let's,
honor
let's
for
dive
you to
in.
be
so there are three of us. So who gets to ask the
We
first
have a
question?
special guest.
45 minutes. we
Looks
go.
like a firing squad to me.
All
Yeah,
right.
we won't do such a thing.
No,
so.
but it's very interesting for Mr. Alunan to be here because he has been in the forefront of a lot of issues. He was the ILG, aside from DOT, even the first DOT Secretary of Mr. Aquino, right after the
The
era
third
of-
one,
of-
the third secretary.
Oh, third, because Nars Lim was there also.
No, the first one was Speedy Gonzales.
Oh, yeah,
and,
right.
and then when Speedy resigned, then it was
Nars Lim.
Peter Garucho.
So
I came in as undersecretary,
It did become
and then
tourism.
Nars and I were
Peter
undersecretaries. And
I
then when
see.
Peter resigned,
okay.
so I was nudging Nars to take over because she was the most knowledgeable as far as tourism was concerned. But she didn't want, so I got pushed up. Yeah,
Pushed.
yeah,
That's
pushed.
the right word.
So was it something that new to you? I mean, being the secretary of
Well, new to me in the sense that, well, I came in as undersecretary and I held that post for about a year and a half. And then it was just a matter of being elevated to the post of secretary. The job was, of course, larger because it now covered the entire gamut of tourism. Whereas,
That was your first public service?
yes, that's my first public service. Yeah, I was only in government for 7 years. 3 years with Cory and 4 years with
Counting
President
with-
Ramos.
Oh, I see.
President Ramos.
So I started with tourism and I moved over to terrorism.
it
Rhymes
rhymes.
naman eh.
It rhymes.
And I'm not making light of that because for 4 years that's basically that I had to focus on terrorism. That was the major problem that we had in Mindanao because it stretched all the way to Afghanistan and Pakistan. And I'm talking about Al Qaeda and Abu Sayyaf and the MILF that had a working relationship.
Okay.
That was 2010.
During the time
sorry.
of FDR.
1996.
Well,
1992.
the Abu Sayyaf was organized earlier, about 2 or 3 years earlier. These were graduates of the on-the-job training in Afghanistan, and these guys were mostly from Sulu, the young Turks of the MNLF. And so when they came back, they called themselves Abu Sayyaf because their trainer in Afghanistan was Abu Sayyaf. It's a real
so that was
person.
the name, yeah.
And if you look at his pictures, then it looked like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
All he needed was a red cap, and it looked like Santa Claus.
So that's Abu
Very,
Sayyaf.
very dangerous and very extreme.
So being with with the terrorism back in the days,
Yeah.
what is your take on how the anti-terrorism efforts of the government right now?
Well, the problem of terrorism from the jihadists. I think from the time that BARM was created.
Yeah.
I think things have calmed down. The only the big hiccup that took place was in 2017 when Marawi took place. But when about 1,000 of them got decimated, that really broke the camel's back, at least for the time being, right? But we have to be watchful about what's going on in the Middle East, because terror groups are the ones that are attacking Israel, and these guys are of like mind, and they're no different. The guys here in Southeast Asia, like Jemaah Islamiyah, and the remnants of Al Qaeda, are no different in terms of approach, in terms of thinking, because what they want to do is basically get the Muslim, the old Muslim kingdom back on top. After all, they ruled half the world for 600 years, right? And their center of gravity then was Europe.
Spain.
Spain, all the way to Turkey, you know. And that's what they want to do. They want to go back. They want to reclaim their lost kingdom. But China wants to do the same thing in this part of the world. Its kingdom, they call themselves
The Middle Kingdom.
the Middle Kingdom, right? And everything under heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard about that.
They're for the seas.
Yeah.
In terms of vigilance, do you think the government is doing the right thing?
Yes, I think they're quite vigilant. The thing is this: it's very difficult to cover all bases. Okay, you know, during my time, the NPA, for example, and the MILF had the Tactical Alliance, right? And they had one common purpose: to topple the government. So your enemy is my friend. No, your enemy is my enemy. Okay, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay. I think that's slowly beginning to come back. I think the NPA want to bounce back, and then of course the Islamists, the jihadists here want to bounce back after Marawi. All right, and the world is in turmoil. If you look at Europe, it's Russia and Ukraine, right? But who are the real protagonists? I call it the Freedom Coalition on one side and the Totalitarian Coalition on the other side. Freedom, we are talking of United States, of course NATO countries. And then in the case of the totalitarian countries, it's Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. They're all totalitarian states. And then if you switch or shift your focus to the Middle East, it's the same protagonists. Israel is a proxy of the United States. Of course, the United States is backed up by NATO, right? And then on the other hand, it's Iran that's really fighting a proxy war using its terror groups. But who's backing up Iran? Russia and China, right? And then here in the Indo-Pacific, who are contesting, power and control of the world through the Indo-Pacific. That's Russia, that's China, and the United States. And it's the same gang. Right? And people like us that are caught in the middle. As much as we can afford to do so. We'd like to have peace. No, and we'd like to ensure that our top 3 trading partners don't kill each other, because otherwise we're dead. Okay, who are they? Russia, United States, China, and Japan. So if they go to war, there goes our economy.
There goes your economy.
Yeah. Right.
So,
but when they go to war, and in as much as we want to stay away from it, we can't, because we have the Mutual Defense Treaty. Right? And of course, we believe in the principle of freedom. We don't want to be under a totalitarian state.
Have you been following U.S. politics?
Yes, I'm disgusted. Yeah, because...
what are the dangers if Trump assumes power again?
Trump has been labeled as the biggest security threat of the United States.
Okay.
Right?
He's more extremist
The guys, I, me, and myself, the national interest doesn't come into play.
Doesn't care about the national interest.
Yeah, it's going to be a disaster. But, you know, to me, what's worse is the fact that the Republicans and Democrats have reached a point where you have political gridlock. No? Worse, within the within
party,
the Republican Party, within the ranks of the Republican Party, there's also gridlock,
Yeah.
right?
Grabe.
And you know, I was
Holding
just thinking
hostage,
about it. What
yeah.
happened in Iran? In the Middle East. Hamas struck just at the right time when U.S. Congress was leaderless, right? So who's going to? How are they going to pass bills supporting, you know, for more aid to Ukraine, to Israel?
Can the executive just
Appoint someone.
can the executive just do it?
Well,
They have to pass it.
Well, Blinken and Biden are practically on the air. I mean,
well,
But you
what
see,
they're saying is we need Congress to,
Yeah.
you know, put their stamp of approval. But that's their system, right?
That's the same thing that will happen when firefight breaks out in the West Philippine Sea.
You know what bothers me? If I were China, and I think this is what's happening, they're trying to deplete or degrade the elements of America's national power, right? Through subversion, infiltration, drugs, corruption, psyops. They're trying to, they've infiltrated, I'm sure, the ranks of the U.S. government. Okay. They've infiltrated the schools. There's no cohesion. There's no rhyme or reason that's going on now in U.S. society. Can you imagine? Hamas massacred Israelis. They started the fight,
Yeah.
and here they are rallying in favor of Hamas and the Palestinians. No, that only shows you that the Psy-war experts of Iran, China, and Russia have worked very well on the psyche of the youth, American youth. No, and that helps the cause, the long-term cause of China and Russia to change the current world order to theirs, right? By deflating the will to fight, by causing confusion and division within America, by dispersing their military forces, by depleting their war-fighting stockpile that are being pushed to different kinds of different wars, to the point where when they see that America is just groggy, punch-drunk, and all that, they're going to strike here in the Indo-Pacific.
that's a real danger, I think.
We're in the danger zone, and if government was here, I'd say read the signs, the writing on the wall very well, comprehend it, and then let's get the civil defense going, because first of all, dihado na tayo sa military preparedness. Sa civil defense, zero. How do we get our communities to prepare for their safety, for their security and survival?
But it's going to come here and invade us, China.
The question, and then have you figured out more or less how China would play us, right? Because we're just, if you ask me, we're just collateral damage.
Yeah.
No, we're not the main game, all right? But we play a crucial role in their calculus because we occupy strategic real estate. Whoever occupies the Philippines can spread their power beyond the South China Sea to the Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean. So how will China play us in the event that they fight the United States? Will they shut down our grid? How ready are we when they shut down the grid? Because then we won't be able to do anything. Everything just collapses, right? Will they?
That's a real danger, shutting down the grid.
it can be shut down by remote control.
NGCP.
NGCP is China.
That's 60%.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's
Did you know
one. The other one is the telecommunications. They can shut it down also.
Well, thank God Dito is not successful.
Not necessarily dito. It can, there's technology to shut down communications equipment.
Remote technology.
It's remote
What is
technology.
hacking of the website of the House and all and other government officials?
Yeah.
Is it possible that
Yeah, cyber warfare is part of hybrid warfare, and that's being conducted worldwide. And even the White House and Pentagon are being hacked. CIA is being hacked. So obviously we can be hacked.
yeah?
So you don't have any doubt that, some of these reports on hacking are true,
They're true.
or some say that, the hacking are, it's just a mind conditioning that,
Right.
to delete, data from the website.
Delete? Who's going to delete the data?
No, that's what they're doing.
Agencies.
Cyber warfare is,
Why would they do that?
No, cyber
it's a lot
warfare.
of,
Malawak ang cyber warfare. They can feed viruses into your system, okay? That can screw up your system, right? Or viruses that can extract data.
Extract data. Yeah.
Yeah,
ransomware.
dami.
So-
And then they can penetrate your critical infrastructure, your military and government institutions, and then your public service institutions. Cyber warfare can do a lot.
Yeah. All right. So very interesting, Chito.
Yeah.
So we'll ask
After
former
the break.
Secretary of more questions about
Security,
yeah,
maybe.
follow up to the very interesting facts that he said. So, but mga katribo, we'll be right back after a short break.
Yeah.
This break is brought to you by Hangkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. And Data Consultancy Services. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Parayan at talakayang showbiz, ×2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakayan ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune. Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
And we're back.
Back.
We're still with the former Secretary Raffy Alunan and Chito. More interesting questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussions about China and our capability on civil defense. Do you think we are really prepared for the eventuality of
And
something?
how are we going to
Not yet.
prepare?
I don't know whether we're in denial. I think, this much I'll say, I think as far as the top is concerned, I think they have the right mindset. They have the right focus. I don't know whether the bureaucracy is on the same page. I don't know whether they're aligned. No, but the problem always is you've got very good policies, But the moment it's supposed to sit down for implementation, that's where all hell
Bogs
breaks
down.
loose, because there's a lot of misalignment. You know? And as you know, the bureaucracy needs to be reinvented. And for as long as it's the way it is, expect more dysfunctions, right? But to your point, which is an excellent question, we really need to refocus our attention on civil defense, because so far it's been addressing natural disasters, etc.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes.
But there's a war coming, and civil defense, for example, in Taiwan, has taken on a different meaning. No, citizens are developing skills, acquiring skills, shooting skills, first aid skills, right? They're being trained for intelligence work. Food security is high up in their agenda. Where do you plant? Where do you store? Preparing your survival stockpiles is so essential to civil defense. Your medical stockpile, your food, your water, your medicines. No, where do you put all that, and make sure that it doesn't get destroyed when you get invaded, attacked, or raided? No, all of these things have to be very well planned out. Where I got a very good insight about China's engineering capabilities and their way of thinking, their mental preparedness, no, for crisis, no, for this kind of crisis. In the early 80s, I had the privilege of going to China on the invitation of a group, whereupon we were invited to a district, a textile district in Beijing, where they wanted to show us an underground chamber.
An underground.
That underground chamber was created when China and Russia had a very serious border war in the early 60s, no, or middle 60s. And it was a bloody one. No? And the difference was that China had no nuclear weapons, Russia had. So China had to build underground bunkers.
Okay.
Not your ordinary bomb shelter. It was really an underground bunker deep down. And this one was displayed for us. Right? So we entered the textile district and entered the shop, where the shopkeeper pushed a button under his table, and the floor behind him just opened. Right?
So James Bond.
And we felt
James Bond
a
technology.
waft of cold air, no? And we went down about 100 feet. Yeah, stairs, no? Stairs.
Stairs.
And when we reached the 100 feet down there, they gave us a briefing. They said, this chamber is a self-contained chamber, no? It's got arms, ammunition, medical stockpiles. We have food, water. We have machinery to make sure that we have air here, and there was barracks. You know.
How many people can accommodate that?
That chamber can accommodate 10,000 people.
Wow, that's
Right?
huge.
In a shopkeeper's.
Well, it's below. It's really.
I know.
It's just the
It's not.
I
It's
know,
not
I
just.
know.
All right. And they said our drills are designed to make sure that within 10 minutes, all 10,000 are inside.
Boom, yeah. 10 minutes.
Then I asked,
How can you mobilize 10,000?
is this the only bunker?
Sure, there
And they
are.
said no. They said it's a network of bunkers. And I was just imagining, if let's say it's 100 bunkers, all right?
100,000.
You're talking about what, million?
100,000?
About a million.
Million.
Is it a million?
Million
Oh.
About
individuals.
a million. Oh, I mean,
10,000
if it's
times 10,
1,000
yeah,
chambers,
okay.
then you're talking 10 million, right?
Yeah.
In
Then-
China.
in China, in Beijing.
Beijing.
That's Beijing. Right under Tiananmen Square.
Wow.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Because the seat of government, right? And then I was thinking, I'm sure it's not just Beijing. It's probably Shanghai, there's Guangdong, there's
All the
Xiamen,
cities.
etc. You
They
know?
can practically
So
live
they really want to save their
under-
people. You want to make sure that they survive. You know?
Underground.
And they were thinking about this in the 60s. Right? Now, for civil defense here, we can think along the same lines. No? Networking. No? We have self-contained communities that are prepared for to survive. They have food they have a stockpile for food, for water, you know, for medicines, etc. They're self-reliant, and then they're connected to other like-minded communities. That's the job of, I think,
Civil
that's what
defense.
OCD should be doing.
Office of Civil Defense.
And then we have, of course, chapters, a lot of national chapters of retired military men. They can be the nucleus of for the security of these communities.
Right,
No?
yeah.
They can serve as the nucleus.
Yeah, fantastic idea.
Because,
There's
because
more
they're
to do.
scattered around the country. You know, you've got special forces chapters, you've got Scout Ranger chapters, you've got Special Action Force chapters. You know. You've got chapters of, you know, for sergeants. Then you've got those that belong very tribal. You know, Ilonggo, Ilocano,
So there's more
Cebuano.
to be done. I mean,
Yeah.
for you to have, you know, to build, you know.
Is the military, what is your sense? Is the military at all?
The military is shifting right now, based on the orders of President Marcos. They're now shifting towards external defense.
External.
Okay.
External defense.
Yes, but
Yeah.
you know, it takes time to put yourself in a position of readiness.
External defense with the enemy just being at China.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, that's,
Because modern warfare can be applied against you by anybody
Yeah,
with
we
the
can-
capability.
Who would want,
extremists.
who would want to
But
take
the
us on?
direct threat right now seems to be China,
Yeah.
because they're the ones that are coercive, they're very belligerent, etc. No? And they have the capability to wage modern war.
Oh my goodness, yeah. What would they do it? Yeah.
So, but we've squandered a lot of time. Since 2016 or since 2012, we should have been very, very methodical in building up our military preparedness. Because preparedness is one thing, but readiness is another matter.
yeah.
Okay, you may be prepared in terms of equipment, right? But are you really ready to fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the military, but it's the entire support system, the political system, right? Society itself, you know, because it'll have to be a whole of nation effort.
So at the moment, are we ready to fight?
No,
No.
no, we're not.
And are we prepared?
No, we're still prepared.
I only heard about this whole of nation term only for in terms of FDIs. You have to use whole of nation. That should have been used. I mean, that should have been the mind bent already a long, long
I've
time
heard
for
that.
other things, for more important things. You know?
I think
For survival.
I think it's because culturally, we're not a united people.
Yeah, we're not.
We're very tribal.
Regional.
We're very short-sighted, right? And we're not an issues-based, evidence-based people. You know, it's all personality, akala. It's all about feelings,
Sarili,
Right.
And,
sarili.
Oh.
living for the present.
living
And
for the
sarili.
present.
I'm just thinking about myself.
I
The
guess,
hell about other people.
All right. So probably we'll,
Another break.
Chito,
We'll-
be having
yeah.
another break and you could throw
We'll
your
be,
interesting
dis-
questions.
Maybe discuss the United States or how the Americans can help us.
Yeah. But before the former secretary answers
Another break, yeah.
that, we'll go for a short break.
Okay.
Have you ever?
This break is brought to you by Hangkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Conti's Bake Shop and Restaurant, delightfully yours. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. And Data Consultancy Services.
A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at the Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Parayan at talakayang showbiz, times 2, doble-doble! Kasama ang dalawa sa walang kupas na talakera ng showbiz, Alwin Ignacio at Alex Brosas. DTT Show, tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 4 ng hapon, dito lang sa Diaryo Tirada ng Daily Tribune. Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
All right, mga katribu, we're still with the former Secretary Raffy
Mr.
Alunan.
Alunan.
Right,
Yeah.
very interesting question about the Ukraine-Palestine war and U.S. and China. So probably Chito, you could ask the
Yeah.
former Secretary
Yeah.
of his
Mr.
thoughts
Alunan,
on.
you were talking about the
repatriation.
difference between repatriation and extracting
Extraction.
people from
Gaza.
the war zone.
Yes, in the war zone, the operation is called search rescue,
Search and
Okay.
rescue.
and that requires combat soldiers performing that function. No? Now, Hamas has said, I heard it in the news, that they'd like to release foreign hostages. They just want to keep the Israeli hostages, no? But that's subject, I think, to negotiation, and that's what the Americans are doing. They're negotiating for the release of their hostages. No? I don't know to what extent we are doing that for our
You mean negotiating?
negotiating. Yeah, I
with
do
Israel.
know that
With Israel or the
not with Israel,
insurgents?
with
Hamas.
suppose
With Hamas.
with Hamas,
With
with Hamas.
Would be hard.
Because that's hard. That's really hard. Who are you going to talk to, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at our embassy is understaffed, undermanned. I'm
The
sure they
embassy
want to do
in
it. I'm sure they want to do it, but how can they? No, everybody's contained. You can't move. If you're out there, you might be mistaken to be a terrorist, so they might shoot you down. So very limited ang options natin to negotiate. But once those who are outside the kill zone, if they want to get repatriated, we've done that already before. The government has succeeded before in repatriating Filipinos who want to come home, or moving Filipinos to safer ground. Pwede yun, walang problema yun. It's just a matter of arranging it with the host country and with the accepting country, the receiving country.
But the other thing is this, I don't know, call it paranoia or what, but you see, if Filipinos are married to Palestinians, if they are able to get out, would you be able to get their Palestinian spouses along with them?
I have no idea.
That's the thing. They're saying it's possible that this might be Hamas people. There
Actually,
might be Hamas elements that they're posing as.
Could be, it's possible.
So I guess you really have to.
or
Screen them.
there are also Filipinos in Israel who refuse to come home because they worry about the separation benefits, the separation pay that they will be receiving from their employer. So they'd rather stay there.
I thought
and-
only Filipinos.
But
living in
one
Gaza.
thing that I must say, there were 2 Filipinos who were killed. They were caregivers, but who refused to leave the people that they were caring for.
Okay.
And if you ask me, they're real heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them is Ilonggo.
Aguirre
Who's on-
and
from Negros.
the guy from
The
Pampanga
lady?
and the
Yes.
one from
Yeah,
Negros.
yeah.
Oh, one of them.
Real heroes.
Heroes talaga.
Yeah.
We refuse to leave their wards, you know.
And that's that's the
That's the
reason why
nature of
Israelis value Filipinos,
Yes.
because we've had a very long, rich history.
This Ilongga was the caretaker of the mother, and then the mother passed away, and then so the daughter asked her to stay on and take care of me. Well, she really loved the girl,
Yeah.
and she wants now to go to Negros when they are able to bring the body back, because she wants to bury her. That's how much that's how much she loved the caretaker.
You know, Philippine and Israeli relations are very, very good. My grandfather was a cabinet, was a member of the cabinet of President Quezon.
What
He
portfolio?
held, I know he held two portfolios. One was Secretary of Agriculture, and then he became Secretary of the Interior. He
also,
preceded me in the Interior Department. But I never got to know, I did know about those until much later, because he died before I was born.
Okay.
So it's just,
Quirino?
But in
Quezon?
Quezon, in 1939, there was a boatload of Jews that they fled Europe, and they were seeking safe haven somewhere in the world. But in all the ports they went to, they were being
Refused.
turned out. They were refused.
Only Philippines.
And then the Philippines was asked if we could accommodate. And this story, by the way, that I'm telling you, was told to me by the Israeli ambassador,
Yes.
who invited me to lunch.
It
And he
became a
was,
movie.
and he was telling me the story about what my grandfather did.
I said, your grandfather there.
So,
Cabinet of Quezon.
so President Quezon organized a three-man cabinet, a three-man team from his cabinet to study the matter and then recommend to him whether to accept or reject. So, if I'm not mistaken, my grandfather was there. I think Yulo or Vargas was there. And
Oh, the
one more.
Longos.
Yeah.
Dorose.
But you know, you know where you can get the full account. Go to the official Gazette of the Philippines. It's all there. It's all there. Anyway, make a long story short, they recommended yes, right? And that's how the boatload of refugees came to Manila.
They were fleeing Nazis, no?
Yes, they were
Nazi-
fleeing Nazi Europe. And in 1992, when I assumed the post of Secretary of Interior and Local Government, the Israeli ambassador called me and he says, "Can I have lunch with you?" I said, "Sure, by all means, I'm honored." He says, "Yeah, who do you want me to bring?" He says, "No, I only want to talk to you." Okay. So it was during that lunch where he revealed what he had unearthed when he was studying about Philippine-Israeli relations. He says, "Do you know what your grandfather did?"
You didn't know?
I said, "No, I don't know. I never met him." I said, he died in 1947, a year before I was born. He says, "Well, this is what happened." Okay. So everything that I told you came from him. Right?
Wow.
And then he said, "We want to invite you as a state guest of Israel to show our gratitude for what your grandfather did."
So you went to Israel.
So I was their state guest.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And I had a helicopter all to myself, provided by the IDF, and they brought me all around Israel. Israel is a very small country.
Yeah.
Very, very small.
Which year was this?
It's just like, Luzon.
Yes, it's
No, Luzon thing is bigger.
no.
size of Luzon.
Israel is really pretty small.
Like what? Like
So
Negros?
which means,
Yeah, you
The island of Negros?
look at the geographic
the map.
what do you call it, the size,
But
no?
it was a desert, no?
Yeah, it
And
was
what the Jews did to this desert.
That's
Fantastic.
the promised land.
Yeah. And they did wonders.
What really struck me when I was there were several things. Now, one was Masada. Masada is where a group of Jews killed themselves because they didn't want to get
Subjugated.
taken prisoner by the Romans. And Masada was where Herod had his summer palace. Okay. So that's where they were.
Masada is a place.
Masada
Yeah.
is a place. It's on top of a mountain.
Okay.
It's called Masada. No? And from there you can even see, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can see the Dead Sea from there. Every year, the military graduates of Israel are brought to Masada, where they say, never again are we going to fall.
Fantastic.
And
That's what, it's things like those that steal their nerves. No?
Yeah.
That's one. And then the second is, of course, the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I was brought to Yad Vashem. That's their memorial for the 6 million that were killed. And so you go down, you spiral down. It's dark. But as you spiral down, you begin to see pin lights, which are actually candles, burning candles. And then the voice of a woman just reading out the names of those who died.
Oh, so that's over and over again.
Over and over
million,
again.
It's
Over
a
and over again.
recording, yeah.
So and when you get to the bottom, there's an eternal flame, right? Then you say some prayers, and then you offer a wreath, and then you exit. As I exited, I noticed that the one leading the way was an old woman. Right?
Okay.
She was our guide in Yad Vashem. And when we got back to the surface, I was introduced to her. She was one of the survivors of the Holocaust.
oh yeah.
She was old already. She was about 75 years old.
What concentration camp was
And then
that?
she had her serial number tattooed on her
What concentration camp was that? Auschwitz?
No, no, not Auschwitz.
Maybe in Poland.
No, either Dachau or Bergen-Belsen.
yeah.
You know, I think it was Bergen-Belsen.
Grabe, no?
Yeah.
That's why I put the Jews.
So you know, those
formidable.
things left a very deep imprint in me. You know, and I said, here's a country that is really well prepared to survive, because from the day that
They're more.
they declared themselves independent. Okay. They were attacked by Arabs, no? And the population of those Arab countries that attacked them was 600 million, and they were only less than 2 million. And their army, ragtag army, on day one was only about 500 people
Grabe.
or 600 people.
But they were able to withstand it. No? They were able to
Resist.
So,
Fantastic.
so the former secretary is really very familiar with, with
Correct. Yeah.
stories about Israel.
Yeah.
Because,
And what's happening now is really.
Yeah. So,
How do you think it's an?
yeah, how do you
It's
think?
so
Very, very
painful.
good.
It's so painful because you see civilians from both sides getting killed. No, innocents.
Yeah, not extremists from the house.
They're not extremists at all. No, and they're collateral damage. No, and it's clear to me. I mean, there's moral clarity. We have to have moral clarity here. No, it's clear to me that the terrorists really don't value human life. They will sacrifice human life just to get what they want. And what they want is to instill fear in the society that they're against, and to get the government
Sympathy
of that country to do their bidding. You know? And they won't stop at anything. And the same thing has happened. Look at Marawi. Okay? Marawi, look what the Abu Sayyaf did before Marawi. Look what they did in Ipil, right? It's the same pattern, you know. They behead, they disembowel, they torture. The women, they don't care whether you're young or old or even a child. They will rape. They will behead. They'll do anything. That's what happened here. It's happening there. And that's their, what you call, parang modus operandi.
Methodology.
That's a trademark.
That's their trademark. That's their DNA.
But they've never succeeded.
Well, when we asked those that we took prisoner from, let's say, from Basilan, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And the answer is, we want to strike fear in the hearts of the Christians so that they can leave the place and so that we can take over, because we consider this our homeland. It's really meant to drive people away.
Yeah.
It's,
That's
the
exactly what
whole
Hamas is
objective.
all about.
taking possession
strike
of the
fear.
territory.
The same thing that they're doing in Africa.
Okay. Wow, this
No,
was so fast. Ralph, we've already eaten up all the interview
Yeah,
hours.
very interesting.
Correct.
The
Party
former
course.
So
secretary.
okay, what you said about
should have more.
no, this is a peace in a world of war, in a world at war. What can we do? I
Hopefully,
mean, what should the Philippines?
Won't,
Yeah.
What should be the
Ordinary
mind
Won't
that
arrive
Filipinos
to
should have at this point in time?
Well, we had the Rotary International President-elect here last week. Her name was Stephanie Urchik.
Urchik, yeah.
And
Americana.
yes, she's from Pennsylvania. And I recounted to her my experience in the Rotary International Convention in Melbourne last May. In that convention, we saw a peace park. And peace building and conflict resolution is one of the 7 areas of focus of Rotary. And it was there that I proposed to the Centennial Clubs. We're a handful around the world. We're one of them because we were 104 years old. I said, look, why don't we influence Rotary International to hold a global town hall meeting on peace? And our audience will be the heads of state of the opposing countries, or the protagonists. No? The U.S. on one side and its allies, and then
Korea.
China and Russia on the other side. And the idea is for Rotarians representing the citizens of the world to voice out their fears, about the future, about the fact that if they continue what they're doing, our children and grandchildren won't have any world to hope for and live for. And if they could heed the call for peace, let the Rotarians speak for the world. Yeah? And she said that actually they're working towards that, and they'll be holding a conference in Turkey, sometime this year. It falls short of the mark, but it's a good step. Okay, if they succeed there, then maybe we can enlarge it. But the whole purpose is to get the entire Rotary community worldwide to host a global peace conference online, a virtual town hall meeting with the heads of state of the totalitarian countries on one side and the Freedom Coalition on the other side,
Terrific, yeah.
to listen to the people.
Yeah.
That in war, everybody loses, nobody wins, especially modern warfare. And we have to think, just like the Native Americans, whenever they decide, they always think of the repercussions up to the 7th generation.
Wow.
That's
That
how we
would
should be
see.
thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's how traditional Americans, traditional
Native Americans. Yeah.
Native Americans.
Native
right.
American.
7 generations, that would
Yeah.
be 200 years.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
I hope ganun din dito sa atin. Ano? And even, in countries where there's
They're so
conflict.
short-sighted.
Yeah. It's just, it's
Yeah.
a matter of ego.
That's the kind of transformation that I've been hoping for the longest time. And in 1986, during the February Revolution, that was my mindset. I said, it's not about replacing an individual. The individual just represents our culture, the sum total of who we are and what we are.
Yes.
Right? What we have to do is to change ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not regime change, but self-transformation.
Change starts from within.
From
Yeah.
within.
All right. Very well said.
Fantastic.
Very
Yeah.
well said. So,
Thank you.
thank you, mga katribu. Tune in again next Wednesday for another episode of Straight Talk. I am Gigie Arcilla.
And I am Chito Lozada once again. Watch Straight Talk every Wednesday, 10 a.m. on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Okay.
And
Thank you,
Mr.
Ted,
Anthony.
for
Anthony,
joining us this
Thank you.
morning.
Okay.
And thank you so
It's a
much.
pleasure.
Thank you very
former
much.
Secretary.
Thank you
I'm
very much.
honored.
it's
Thank
our
you.
honor.
Yeah, very